Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roach.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our preview for Dexter Resurrection Season 1. If you guys have been here on this channel so far this year, you know this is one of our most anticipated shows.
Absolutely. We are so excited that Resurrection is happening. After New Blood, we were like, oh, that's the end. But it turns out that that is not the case. Dexter is still with us. He is still very much alive. And what is that going to look like? I mean, is anyone going to know that he's alive? Is he going to be sort of continuing to fake his death so that he can continue on doing what he's doing? No one can really find him. It's going to be interesting to see where they go.
Okay, it's a question for everybody out there, just like right from the jump. Is there a franchise that is more I thought I was out, but they sucked me back in than
Yeah.
Dexter? Because the original show had a terrible ending. New Blood did not have a good ending. And yet, here we all are, excited still for Resurrection because we're just like, maybe they'll get it right this time.
Listen, sometimes it's about the journey, and the journey of Dexter has been 10 out of 10. It has been so fun. Lots of great characters. Of course, Dexter himself, we're all rooting for him, even though he's doing terrible things. I mean, yeah, the ending of Dexter, the original, wasn't that great, but the journey was so good. And yeah, New Blood had some problems, and the ending wasn't that great, but they're fixing it. Listen, we're back. Nobody liked that Dexter was killed off by Harrison, but here we are. He's alive, he's well, and it looks like he's going to be meeting up with some other shifty characters.
Okay, so this video is really going to be a lot of setting the table for this upcoming show. We're going to tell you everything that you need to know. We're going to dive a little bit into the trailer and just all be one big happy Dexter family.
Yes.
Before we get into it, though, be sure to hit that subscribe button because if it's not clear already, Jess and I have a lot of coverage coming for Dexter throughout the coming months, previews, theories, all sorts of good stuff. And that is the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of that and that you continue to be a part of the discussion here at the channel.
Absolutely. We're going to have videos 3 times a week during the season. So hit that subscribe button, stick with us. Lots of Dexter coverage.
Yeah.
And then over on our Patreon right now, we are covering Murderbot and we are covering Criminal Minds. So be sure to check those reviews out as well. It's the only place you're able to get them. And we'll leave a link for you down below in the description. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. We very, very much appreciate that.
Okay, so Dexter is going to be premiering on July 11th. It's going to have 2 episodes, 2-episode premiere. Now, there's lots of debate on how many episodes this season is going to be, because if you look around on the internet, AI is telling you it's 10 episodes. IMDb is telling you it's 10 episodes. Nothing is actually official from Showtime at the time of this recording of how many episodes there are. There's probably 10, but nobody actually has information. So if you see people saying that it's 10 episodes, it's not official yet.
Yeah. I think we can probably assume that it's 10 for now, and if it ends up being 11, something like that, be pleasantly surprised. Be happy. If it's 9, be disappointed. It's just like, I think because Original Sin was 10, it's good for us to just sort of run with this idea in particular. Like, the most important thing is obviously that it's premiering on July 11th, not too far away. I am a little bit annoyed that it's a 2-episode premiere because I'm one of these people who likes to savor things, but at the same time, I can't be on here complaining because at least they're not doing what The Bear does every time, which is just like, here's the whole season at once. You're going to watch it in 2 days, and then you're going to forget about it.
Yeah, or even a 3-episode drop at the beginning. I can live with 2. I prefer 1 as well.
Yeah, 1 is ultimately the best. But okay, so there is a big description that Showtime has put out there about it. And, rather than just sit here and be like, I am going to read every part of this word by word. It's like, okay, here's where we are, though. This is going to continue pretty much directly after the end of Dexter New Blood, which, Jess already spelled all of that out. And if you guys watched Original Sin, which, by the way, we covered here at the channel, then you probably remember at the start of that, Dexter was being brought to the hospital. So we already saw at that point that he was technically still alive, and lo and behold, that's all kind of a bridge to this new show.
Absolutely, where he is going all the teasers before this trailer were kind of like Dexter Morgan is dead, and you see him smiling over the paper.
Yeah.
So that's why it's kind of like, is he going to be going into this new phase of his life where he is seemingly going to New York, which
Yeah.
is a huge city, a place that he can disappear? Is he reinventing himself as somebody new and letting Dexter Morgan be dead? Or is he actually just going to come forward at some point and be like, actually, I'm doing all right?
It's an interesting debate because the idea of what does a resurrection mean to Dexter, it could just mean,
Right.
am I bringing back to life the old prime Dexter Morgan? Am I being born anew as someone totally different? Like, we know from the synopsis that apparently one of his priorities is going to be trying to fix some things with his son Harrison, and we'll get more into the Harrison of it all here soon enough. But I mean, what I'm personally just hoping for is that resurrection in this sense means that, okay, he's going to be back to what he was doing on the original show
Yes.
that we really loved. I don't need to see Dexter brooding or debating whether or not he wants to take people out anymore. It's just like there's a reason the original show ran for so many years.
Yeah, I don't want to see him pretending to be somebody else again, where he's like, oh, I'm Jim, I'm out here lumberjacking, whatever. We
Yeah.
don't need any of that. It's time for Dexter just to be brought back as Dexter, but now he's kind of in a really big pond where he can just disappear a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of nostalgia and bringing back things from the past here,
Mhm.
I hope, and based on like the poster that we've seen, the tone of the trailer, like all that, I hope they allow this to be funny because that's the really big thing when we were watching Original Sin and after New Blood, which was pretty serious at times.
Yeah.
I forgot how funny the original show was, where it was dark, but there was like this biting sense of humor.
Yep.
I want that part of Dexter back.
Yeah, I want that back as well. And especially since we're going to have Angel back as well, where, he's going to arrive, he's going to have some questions about stuff, and Dexter's going to be a little bit kind of on the run with that. I mean, if you've got Angel sort of hot on his trail and he realizes that his past is starting to catch up with him, he needs to find a way to sort of balance all these spinning plates where he wants to figure out how to make things right with Harrison, that he put so much on Harrison's plate that he ended up in the spot where he was at, where he ends up thinking that he's now killed his own father. How do you make that right? Get in touch with him as yourself, but also still kind of evade what's going on with Angel, or sort of fix things in some kind of way with Angel so that he can continuing on.
Okay. With the Batista thing, like this is the part of the trailer that when we saw it, I was a little bit like, what? And that was Angel sort of being like, oh, Angela said you were the Bay Harbor Butcher. And I'm just sitting here being like, Angel, how have you not figured out more than you have right now? Like, how are you still in the dark about, I guess he can't be like fully convinced of anything because it's just like he can show up and arrest Dexter right away and then there's not really a show.
Yeah, you have to find a way for him to wiggle out of it. I mean, yeah, she's going to say what she's going to say, but the whole Bay Harbor Butcher thing's been pinned on Dokes for so long now. Angel has a really good relationship with Dexter. He has for so long now, right? Like, he's known him since he was an intern, like since they were both pretty young. I think that kind of puts on blinders to Angel a little bit. Angel is a really good detective, but it's hard when it's somebody that you've had such a long relationship with. You've known Dexter since Dexter was like 20 years old, like since he was just barely an adult. Their relationship is just very tight.
Okay, since we brought up Harrison, I'll at least put on a hard hat slightly here for Harrison
all
for a
right.
moment. This is the only part of the show I'm worried about. Like, I'm immensely excited about everything else, but my worry for Harrison, and it's not just exclusive to this character on this show. I thought Jack Alcott was fine on New Blood. I don't think he was terrible. It's just
No.
that if we're watching a show about Dexter, we want to watch a show about Dexter. It's sort of like there's all this talk about a new Buffy that's coming down the line. Ironic because Sarah Michelle Gellar was on Original Sin, but my whole thought with that is like, I don't want to watch, a new younger Buffy. I just want to watch Buffy. It's just like we watch these shows because we're attached to the original character. So I'm begging you, Clyde Phillips, don't try to make this like half and half Harrison and Dexter. It's like we're all here for Dexter.
The problem is that they just did such a poor job with Harrison at the end of New Blood that nobody is excited to see Harrison back. I
I
feel
know.
really bad for this actor because Harrison was somebody it started out really interesting, sort of. Does he also have the dark passenger, and how does he feel about it? And is his father gonna try to pass on the code, and is it gonna work? And then we end up at this spot where he just shoots Dexter and, goes off having the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I'm not interested in revisiting that right away. It left a really
Oh.
poor taste in my mouth. I'm not interested in it. Harrison can go off and do whatever he needs to do for now. Let's start off this new season where we have Dexter kind of reinventing himself once again, but now he's in this huge city again where he's able to kind of disappear and meet up with some new people and kind of get back to the roots of what he was, where he's kind of getting back to the code. And this is where I get very excited because James Remar is going to be back as Harry.
I am so excited for
Let's
this.
go, Harry.
Nostalgia, glorious nostalgia. Like, we know that Deb was like the inner monologue for Dexter on New Blood, and based on what
Yeah.
Jennifer Carpenter said to Deadline, it doesn't seem like Deb's gonna be back. I mean, we'll wait and see on that. You never know, right? But
Yeah, interviews can kind of be misleading if, maybe she's trying to hide a surprise.
yeah, I don't know what more you do with Deb at this point. And it's just like Harry always was the voice in Dexter's head. And if Dexter is trying to be the Dexter that he was on the original show, like, of course, it makes sense for Harry to be there. Like, James had so many years playing this character that I think he kind of knows the ins and outs of it, what the show wants him to do. And kind of on New Blood, there was a real push and pull between Dexter and the Deb in his head. I think there'll be a little bit more, I don't want to say in full unison with Dexter and Harry, but I kind of think they're intent on getting back to that.
Yeah, and it makes more sense for sort of where we're setting up, where Dexter is going to end up sort of finding himself part of like a killer network almost. Like there's going to be more than just him kind of all getting together, and we'll get more into that.
Yeah.
But if Deb is the person that's in his head pulling him away from that, it's going to be harder for him to just dive back into that life and feel like it's okay. Harry made him feel like it's okay to be who you are. We're just going to have some rules put in place so that you can be who you are and do good while you are being a killer and who you are. So it makes more sense that Deb is out, Harry is in.
Okay, so you mentioned the network. Let's get a little bit into these new additions because there's a lot of them. And
Yeah.
for those of you who aren't aware, a lot of the scuttlebutt going into Resurrection was that, like, okay, Paramount really wants a lot of big names here. And you see this a lot now with like their Taylor Sheridan shows where you've got Billy Bob on one show, and
Right.
obviously Costner was on Yellowstone, Jeremy, like and so all of a sudden we're in this spot where Uma Thurman and Peter Dinklage are like two of the big new additions that are brought on board almost right away as major parts of this story. And you saw both of them in the trailer, even if it wasn't for like some extremely long period of time.
I love Peter Dinklage so much. The first thing I ever saw him in was in a minor role in Living in Oblivion. If you haven't had a chance to see that movie with Steve Buscemi, Peter Dinklage, it is so good and is absolutely worth your time. It's the first thing I ever saw him in. I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but this guy, I'm all about him. He plays such an amazing role in that. And then since then, everything, Station Agent, of course, Game of Thrones, he's just incredible. So the minute that I heard he was in this cast, I was already in on the show. Obviously, I love Dexter. I even had a Dexter birthday party at one point in the past. Thanks, Matt.
You're very welcome.
But I love Peter Dinklage so much. So I cannot wait to see him sort of in this role as like a leader who's kind of bringing together all these killers.
I will be honest here. I never thought we'd see Peter do another show after Game of Thrones because he got so much money from Game of Thrones. Like, obviously, he got all the acclaim, but he never had to come back and do TV again. But
he's so famous.
that's why I'm so excited to see him here because I'm sure it's a very different role from Tyrion. I don't think he would come on if he was doing a similar sort of role to Tyrion at this point. But yeah, they seem to be, Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, these two performers, like they kind of seem to be the glue that's bringing a lot of these other killers together. Now, like some of these other killers that we could be seeing include the likes of Kristen Ritter, who you probably know from
Mm-hmm.
Breaking Bad, or Jessica Jones,
Mm-hmm.
Neil Patrick Harris, who
Mm-hmm.
is going to be legend, wait for it, Derry over the course of this
Yep.
show,
Yep.
Eric Stonestreet, and of course, David Desmelchin, character actor extraordinaire.
Yeah, and he actually David's over on Murderbot right now, which we are covering over on our Patreon. He is so good. And I
Yeah,
know like out of all these names, he might be the name that you might be the least familiar with, but trust me, this guy is so good at being so bad. Like you are really going to enjoy him. But out of the sort of the guest cast that's coming in, I'm actually the most excited about Eric Stonestreet. Like I was never a huge Modern Family fan. I've seen episodes here or
yeah.
there, but when he was announced that he was going to be on Dexter playing a killer, I was like, I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait.
It always kind of leans back on that idea of seeing comic actors go and do drama. Like this is something that Vince Gilligan did a lot with Breaking Bad in that universe, and I think it could be really effective. Yeah, I'm excited to see Eric in this role because even in interviews, he seems like such a jovial, happy guy, and
Yeah.
it's just how are you going to play dark? But what's also kind of interesting is some of the quotes that Clyde Phillips, who's showrunner here, has given to USA Today, kind of suggests that okay, we're going to meet all these characters, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily limited to this season. Like maybe they'll have an arc here. Maybe they'll come back and be like a central big bad in another season down the
Mm-hmm.
road. I mean, that's the great thing in here in general is that New Blood was kind of devised to be a limited series from the start, beginning, middle, and end, which is probably why Clyde felt pressure to kill Dexter at the end of it because he didn't
Right.
have Michael for anything else. But this actually is going to be designed as a multi-season project.
I'm so excited about that. The idea that we're going to get, these four other killers and they might come back for other seasons, that all of this could be threaded together in that way. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, we've got like a real roster, like a real rogues gallery that we can just sort of kind of like dip our toes into and then be excited about again later.
Let's go, Dokes. For all of us Dokes fans out there, we all know that he is gone. He is dead. He is the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yeah.
However, it has been confirmed that we are going to see Dokes back. We are going to see Trinity back. We are going to see Miguel Prado back in some way, shape, or form.
Surprise. No,
I
don't
know.
don't listen. I've never been more devastated about an actor who is like so iconic, never getting enough work after the fact
I
as I was about
know.
Eric King because season 2 of Dexter is just phenomenal. Lights out television. It's probably my favorite season of the original show just because it's a real cat and mouse game between him and Dexter. I will take even a small appearance. Like I'm not expecting much from any of these cameos. It's like this is just what they are, but it's just Clyde, the show really realizing that all right, we want to get people back on board. We want this to be one of the biggest shows that Showtime has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just play into the nostalgia as much as we possibly can. And with Lithgow, it makes even more sense because I'm sure
Yep.
you guys have heard there's all this chatter about a Trinity prequel that might
Yes.
happen. It's not officially greenlit yet, but it seems like it's very much in the works.
It sounds like, I mean, they'd be crazy not to do this.
No, it's just really, I mean, once again, Paramount is just sort of like, we're reading all the homework of Taylor Sheridan and we're just copying it for all our other shows there.
Yeah, we're just going to make a whole bunch of Dexters and Dexter spinoffs. I'm not mad about it at all. Let's
No,
go.
as long as the quality is good, like, I'm totally here for it. And I was honest with this in Original Sin. I'll be honest with it again now. That show was way better than I thought it was going to be going in.
It's really good.
Like, I was worried that it was just like, okay, is this just mailing it in for the money? We know what happens to Dexter, but I had a good time.
I at first had a harder time with Patrick being Dexter, but he's so good in that role. Like he grew very quickly into that role. He is young Dexter.
He really is. And now we get the OG Dexter back for a show that, at least from everything we've seen so far,
Yeah.
feels like it's going to be great. And we are going to have so much fun with this all season long.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching this video. Let us know, what are you most excited about with Dexter Resurrection? Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss other updates and you can support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description and we are covering there exclusively in video form Murderbot, as we've said, as well as Criminal Minds Evolution. Thank you so much. We'll see you here next time.